The key to being popular, the most popular people, what researchers have found is that they have a longer list of people that they like compared to the list of people that they don't like. If that ain't the truth, I don't know what is. One of the things you notice with popular people, they're always in the hallway saying hi to so many people. So many people are saying hi to them. Their list of people that they like is a lot longer. Yes, there's a lot of factors, physical, that play with it, but there's also a lot of people that don't look like the typical, stereotypical popular person, right? And they still are very popular because they're just so likable. Could have like physical deformities and still be very likable because they choose to go through life liking people and not be bitter. A lot of you guys think everyone hates you and you're bitter and have a long list of people that dislike you. Of course, that's not the case for everyone. Before somebody comes in the comments and say, that's not me, I know. But you have a longer list of people you feel don't like you, and you have a longer list of people you hate than a list of people you like. You need to start changing that. It's the mindset. Your list of people you like should be longer. End of story. Today's video is a little funny, but we're going to get into it, right? We're going to talk about why some of you guys, people just don't like y'all. It's a bitter, tough truth, but it's going to be short and sweet, and we're going to get to the point. As you guys saw by that TikTok, follow me on TikTok, by the way. I'm going to try to post a little bit more in there. I've been so neglectful of it. But as you guys saw by that TikTok, like a lot of us literally just have a longer list of people that we hate more than people we like. We're going to get into that more, but first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Karina Olude Mental Gems. This channel is dedicated to leveling up in all areas of your life. So let us learn together, read together, but most importantly, grow together. Now, without further ado, let's get into this. It was a body language expert specialist that was speaking on the Diary of CEO, and I'll try to find the clip where she was talking about, hopefully it's not copyright, but she was talking about basically, and it resonated with me. She was like, the key to people being popular, the most popular people when they're studied, is that they have a longer list of people that they like compared to a list of people that they don't like them.
He had all the kids ranked across all these schools. He had them looked at traits, and then he guessed what made the popular kids popular. Were they more athletic? Were they more attractive? Were they funnier? Were they smarter? What was it? Can you guess?
I'm just basing this on the kids that were popular in my school. They were funnier. They were self-deprecating to some degree.
Mhm.
They were remotely good at some sports, maybe. They were funny, happy. I don't know. What is
Okay,
it?
so he found that the most popular kids across the one single variable that was held true across all the different students was the most popular kids had the longest list of people they liked. So when he asked, one of the questions of the survey was, who do you like? They had the longest lists. And when he looked at their day-to-day, they had micro moments of liking. They would go down the hallway and be like, hey, Chad. Hey, Chelsea. Hey, Sarah. They liked so many people, and that in turn made them more likable. This showed me that being likable is in our control. Being likable means you have to be first liker. If you set out to like more people, you become more likable. And that was a really big shift for me because for so long, I thought it was all about me. It's a very selfish way to be, right? I was like, I better be impressive, I better be funny. But actually, what makes us likable is just liking as many people as possible.
I was laughing as you're speaking because I was just playing out all the different sort of personas of people listening right now.
Yeah.
And I just had this one persona of the person sat at home who just like slumped over because they realized they hate everybody.
Look, I get it. And I also think that if you hate everyone, if that's you, let me try to convince you for a second. It could be because you're asking the wrong questions.
Okay.
I think I fell into that camp. I don't need people. I don't like people. I was very much in that camp for the first couple of years. Why? Because I had terrible interactions and terrible conversations. And it was awkward. Of course, I didn't like people. But I was also asking the wrong questions and I was telling the wrong stories. I was trying to be impressive. The best way to be impressive, to be likable, is to help people impress you. Is to make them feel so liked that they begin to like you back. It's aggressively liking. So that means that when you're with someone, you should be constantly giving them verbal and nonverbal assurances of how much you want to like them. Watch them change. Watch your relationships transform. So I make it a policy of aggressively liking people.
There's a lot of people that always feel like the world is against them. She also spoke about the victim mentality, people that feel unlucky in life. Like, ask yourself, let me do this. Would you describe yourself as lucky or unlucky in life? Do you think your life is a blessing, or do you more often than not feel like your life is a curse? Before continuing to watch this video, comment below what you think, right?
I think that there are basically 3 main types of narratives, and you should know what these are for the closest people in your life. Maybe only 2 or 3, and you should also know what it is for yourself. The best one is a hero narrative. This is, I've worked really hard. I've had some challenges and mistakes, but I've overcome with hard work and smarts, and now I am where I am. Every version of their story, their career, their life, their relationships is that same narrative over and over again. Then there's what I think is called the healer narrative. Again, I'm doing research on this for my next book. The healer narrative, their story is all about helping others. They typically are in careers of service, of helping others, physical therapists, nurses, healthcare. Their story is, how can I be more helpful? They tend to have a problem, though, if you're in a relationship with a healer, is they always put other people's needs before themselves.
Do they have some kind of historic trauma?
They can. And a lot of the times they were put in a position of caretaking too early. Like they were told that you're of value if you can caretake. You're of value if you put your needs last. So they tend to be people pleasers. They tend to say yes to everything. You have to be careful if you work with a healer because they're great to work with. They help, but they say yes to too much. So healer is the middle one. The last one is victim narrative. Victim narrative, no matter what, personal, professional, love life, taxes, they have the same narrative. I experienced challenges and mistakes and I didn't overcome. No matter how hard I work, no matter how smart I am, the world is against me. So a question I ask people to begin to uncover their self-narratives. Do you feel lucky? Do you feel lucky?
I feel very lucky.
I also feel very lucky.
Yeah.
People who have a resounding yes to I feel lucky are more likely heroes or healers. People who say I don't feel lucky, I feel very unlucky, are typically victims. Dr. Richard Wiseman did a study. He asked people to perceive their own luck. How lucky do you feel? Then he gave them a challenge, gave them a newspaper. And he said, I want you to count the amount of images in this newspaper. They sat with the newspaper and they counted all the images, but there was a trick. There's always a trick in these studies. On the second page of the newspaper, in big print, it said, stop counting, there are 42 images in this newspaper. Almost all of the people who perceived themselves as lucky saw the ad, closed the paper, and gave it back, so there are 42 images. Almost none of the unlucky people did. The unlucky people missed the ad and kept counting, spent a lot of time, and made more mistakes. This means that if you think of yourself as lucky, you literally see more opportunities. If you think of yourself as unlucky, you miss them.
Is it possible to change how you see yourself?
I do believe in a growth mindset. So I do believe that if this is resonating with you and you're like, I feel unlucky, I might have this victim self-narrative. I do believe it's possible to change your perception of yourself. And that's starting with small moments of heroism. I think that changing your people skills, saying I don't like people and saying I'm gonna find a way to like people. Saying I'm bad at conversation, I'm gonna find a way to be good at conversation. To say I'm an awkward person, no, I'm a recovering awkward person. If we can begin to take those tiny experiments and change them one by one, we begin to have small moments of heroism, and that's how we change our self-narrative.
For me, there was a time in my life I felt like the unluckiest. I felt so unlucky. And I felt like my life was a curse. I felt like, y'all can go see it. So I had this in mind that nobody likes me. Everybody hates me, blah, 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 blah. That was really my life. And that time I wasn't really likable. I didn't make friends easy. I was just off, like very bitter. Am I the same person today that I was before? A lot has changed, transformed. I'm not the same person, but I still have the same body, same face, same humor, So what has changed now? Because I have people always flock to me trying to be my friend. And I have a long list of people that I like, and I don't hate anybody. Like, I have love in my heart for everybody, which is what Christ calls us to do, right? So what has changed? The only thing that has changed for me is my mind has changed, because I really believe your list of people that you hate or dislike will be longer when you dislike or hate yourself. If you're not happy with yourself, there's a lot of people you're not going to be happy with. You're going to hate also. And for me, I wasn't necessarily happy with myself. I didn't like my position in life. I didn't like my life. I felt unlucky. I felt cursed. I felt the stench of poverty all on me. I was just not a happy person. So therefore, I didn't really like happy people, toxic, positive people to me. That's how I saw it. And it resonated in my level of popularity. People could feel that. They could see that. And I exuded that. And nobody wanted to be around me. Nobody thought I was that pleasant. They'll tolerate me. I'll make jokes. I'm funny. But it's like, I was very negative. I picked fights with people for no reason. Sometimes I'd be the provoker. And it was just, I wasn't always the positive light. But the more I grew to forgive myself for things and to be happy with my life, practice gratitude with my life. Like, I'm grateful. I'm blessed. God has his hand in my life. Take luck. I don't believe in luck and whatever. Everything is God, right? I don't believe in luck. But God showed me he had his hand in my life the whole time. Even the poverty, all the trauma, all of that. Somehow, I always tell you guys that me even being in front of this camera talking to you is a testimony. Sharing my life or wisdom that the Lord has taught me came from such trauma, such experience. The times that I thought, oh, I hate this, I hate blah, blah, blah. it prepared me for this moment to be able to speak to you guys and speak how I speak. And if I if I changed just one thing in my past, I wouldn't be this Kareen. And I love this Kareen. I'm grateful for this Kareen. And that has changed my gratitude, my understanding of life, and helped me to better understand people, which is why even on my documentary channel, I do biographies on people, understanding people, learning how did they come to be, or how it has helped me to have a greater appreciation for life and people. And because I understand people, I don't judge people all the time just solely based on their actions blindly like that. I'm always understanding that there's a bigger reason behind everything. Everyone is how they are. It's a culmination of the imprint of the people that were in their lives, their childhood, how they grew up. No one just chooses to be weird or, So I've learned a lot of lessons and appreciate people more the more I study other people, watch biographies, study psychology, read books to understand people. The more people I like, even the most heinous of criminals, I still have love for them. You can be angry at people's actions. You can disagree. You can dislike how people behaved, but you still the understanding leads to the love. And this is why God said the greatest spiritual gifts that you can have is love. And love covers a multitude of sins. It covers a multitude of wounds. Love is healing. Love is truly transformative. And I believe I've transformed myself. Well, the Lord has transformed me through love. And I feel like if we practice, it sounds cliche, it sounds corny. People say this all the time, that all we need is love. Love can heal the world. God is literally love. And that is true. Love, not for yourself like lovers of self in the arrogance, pompous, presumptuous way, but love for self, knowing that you are fearfully and wonderfully made and you were chosen by God. I also spoke about the spirit of rejection, which I'll pin in the comments for you guys, where I dealt with that for a very long time. And it is what made me a hater in a sense. It is what made me bitter and unlikable, feeling rejected constantly from things. And love heals you from that. And I want that for everyone. I believe it is a tough road to get to that point. It's easier said than done. It is a journey, but it is a very worthy journey. And I want you to practice it. I know it may sound tough to say you're a hater, but you have to be honest with yourself. I had to be honest with myself. I know some people are very resistant when you're truth. I always say I have to tell a lot of tough truths on this channel and I lose subscribers. I do look at my subscriber count. This channel would have been at like 200-300. It's crazy how my other channel's almost at 500,000 subscribers because, I'm not telling hard truths on there. But this channel should be so much further, But the truth is hard pain to swallow. People don't want to hear that they're a hater. They don't want to hold a mirror to themselves and be reflective. And I had to do it, okay? I'm always speaking from experience. I tell you guys that. And you will not change if you do not do it. You have to put a mirror to yourself. You have to tell yourself, I am a hater. I am a hater. People don't like me because I'm toxic. People don't like me because I'm a hater. Do I spend more time congratulating people, being happy for them, genuinely liking people, trying to understand people? Or am I in this selfish bubble of myself, who I am? And I hate everyone around me and I feel everyone is against me. Is that what I push? Is that what I promote? Is that the essence of who I am? And a lot of us, that's just the essence of what we were. That's not what we're going to be in 2025. As the month is closing, I want you to do some self-reflection. If you find yourself constantly feeling like nobody likes you, you're not invited to anything, people leave you out, you always feel left out, you'll see your friends going out without you. I used to be that girl. I used to see people doing things without me and I would feel left out. But I had to do examination. And I was like, okay, when I changed and accepted love and to be an image of, like, to walk pushing love, congratulating people, genuinely being happy for people, being supportive with people, making friends, not looking for anything, making friends to love others. It's like people don't want to do anything without including me, to the point where I get burnt out. I have to, I hate to say it, sometimes lie just to get some me time or rest time. The same Karina is to not be included in anything. And all I did was just stop being a hater. A hater doesn't mean you envy what people have, but you just spend most of your time being bitter, most of your time not liking people. And it gnaws at you. It eats you up. It eats away at your heart. It's not what God wants for you. It's not what God wants for you. And it's a tough pill to swallow. Make a longer list of people you like, and even the ones that you hate or dislike. Write out what's one positive trait about them. Do that as homework. Consider this Therapy 101 with Kareen. Do that as homework. Go on your notes on your phone or on a piece of paper. Write out everyone you have issues with or is not on your good list. Make a list of all the people you like and make a list of all the people that you dislike. See which list is longer. Be very brutally honest with yourself. Don't lie. Don't try to put, because you're not gonna be true. You got to be very difficult with yourself. Like, the worst person you can lie to is yourself and God. You cannot do that, okay? If you lie to yourself, you will not find God. You will not find God unless you are honest with yourself. God deals in honesty. So be honest. If it's 3 people on your list or 1 people on your list of I likes and 30 on your dislikes, then you say, okay, there's a problem. Maybe what Karina is saying is true. On that dislike list, write down one thing that you like about this person that's likable. And try to envision this person as a likable person. Ask yourself, have I congratulated this people? There's people in there that you've congratulated that you've probably been happy for, but they've done some really horrible things. I mean, if the person done went and slept with your man, I'm not asking you to find one likable thing about them. But even then, do that. Be like, let me try to put myself in their shoes. What was their childhood like that they felt like they couldn't get their own man? They have to take or go after what someone else's have. What made them so envious of me? What kind of trauma or spirit are they dealing with? Don't see the person, see the root cause behind it. That's very difficult to do, but that's how you forgive people. That's how you heal. Healing is tough. It's really tough, but it's possible. It's possible. Look at me. Look at me. I've healed so much. Like I said, I literally have to go into hiding. And making friends is not hard. It's a very easy concept with love. Trust me. Naturally, you'll exude it. I don't have to walk up to people and talk to them. I'm the most shy, timid person. In public, I've had subscribers meet me, and they're shocked by how shy. I'm so awkward. I don't know whether to smile or hug. I really am. But yet and still, people approach me. For what? Because I'm not giving that mean girl energy. I look at a stranger, my instinct is to smile. It's not to be weird, you know?
I would even go further and say, if you don't have people skills, you cannot succeed. You cannot succeed in life. You cannot succeed in love. You cannot succeed in business. It doesn't matter how smart you are. You need people to have success. So this is, I think, the most fundamental skill that people can invest in.
The importance of understanding your resting. That's like the term we use in the UK, resting. Which is like when you're just listening or doing nothing. Like, how does your face look?
Yes.
And you're telling me that's really, really important.
It's real. So I call it resting bothered face. Because
Okay,
I have
I
to be
probably shouldn't use that word.
resting bothered face. RBF, same thing.
Okay.
Okay, this is a real phenomenon, which is that all of us have different faces at rest. Now I want you to look at my face for a second. My face at rest, I'm gonna rest it for a second. My mouth angles down in sort of an upside down U, so it looks like this. So at rest, I look a little sad.
Yeah.
That is just my mouth at rest. Yours goes pretty straight across.
I just
You have a lot of hood. That's what that's
I have
called.
a lot of
hood.
Yes.
This is hood. Yes. So that probably makes you, do people think you're angry or tired?
both.
Both. Okay. People never call me angry, they call me sad. You need to look in the mirror and figure out what is the default of your face. If your mouth angles down into a frown, people are gonna think you're sad. You're gonna have to be counteracting that with your cues. If you have a lot of hood above your eyes, or you have these two vertical lines that appear between your eyebrows, you actually don't have them, but if some people at rest even have those two lines, people are gonna think you're angry or frustrated. If you have down eyes, so I don't know if you noticed, but I've added cat makeup to my eye.
Ah, yes.
Yes, that actually makes me look less sad. Because also my eyes slope a little bit down at the end, which makes me look sad.
Okay.
So people often are like, are you okay? Are you tired? I'm like, no, that's just my face. So I have ways that I counteract it. One, I get to use makeup, which is a great thing. But second, I know that I need to make my face a little bit more up, right? So when I am interacting with someone, when I'm on video, when I'm interview, I typically rest my face in an upward position. I've activated these muscles, so don't I look happier?
You do, but have you got to consciously tell yourself to do
Yes.
that, or do you just always remember?
No, I have to consciously tell myself to do that. Now, I only need to do that with people with their first impression or when I'm trying to make a good impression. My team knows that I'm not sad. right? Like my team, they see me all the time. They see me without makeup. They know that I'm not sad. They know that's just my face. So here's what's critical. One, you should know, what is your resting default? Are you looking sad, angry, or afraid? You have them just right here, these light lines here. So when we're afraid, we go, and we raise our eyebrows up, and you can't see it because I have Botox on my forehead, but there you go, that's afraid. No, open your eyes and go, that's afraid.
Yeah.
So the more you have those lines on the whites of your eyes appear, like have you ever seen someone kind of walk around like a deer in the headlights?
Yeah.
They make you feel anxious. Like if I were to do my entire interview a little bit wide-eyed, you would not only feel anxious, but you wouldn't believe what I was saying. So you all should see if you have this default lines or if the whites of your eyes show. Look at your profile pictures. In your profile pictures, here are the 3 biggest mistakes people make. 1, they're showing fear eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you are signaling accidentally anxiety. So try to make sure you're not showing the upper whites. Second mistake people do is they make a contempt microexpression. So that's a one-sided mouth raise. So just do a one-sided mouth raise for me. Does it make you kind of feel like, better? Don't do it for too long.
Yeah.
So if you do it at home, there's a facial feedback hypothesis. When you make these faces, it actually triggers the emotion. Just like when you have the emotion, it triggers the face. There's a loop that happens. So if people make the contempt expression, one-sided mouth raise, not only do they look scornful, kind of disdained, they actually begin to feel better then and scornful. So do not do an asymmetrical smile in your profile picture. You are accidentally signaling negativity. The third biggest mistake you will make is you do an inauthentic smile in their picture. The only true indicator of happiness is when these cheek muscles are activated. Anyone can fake smile. This is what mine looks like. But you see people do it, right?
Yeah, I do it.
Yeah, and people know. I would rather you not.
And there's other people that I know that just kind of walk through life with this like resting smile.
Yeah.
Like we can all think of that person that's just like always happy.
Yeah.
And then there's these other people who are like objectively happy too, but they just have that resting bothered face. So it feels like life is going to be more exhausting for those people.
I think it's about choosing your hard, right? It is hard, it is exhausting for me to show up to a meeting when I'm in a good mood and have someone be like, are you sad and tired? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I find that exhausting. Is it also a little exhausting to make sure that in my first impression, I'm being a little bit more up with my face, open eyes wide and open mouth? A little less exhausting than that. So I think you have to choose what are the cues you're going to purposefully add. There are 97 cues. I've narrowed down 97 that I think are the most important. You get to make your own recipe. You don't have to do all the cues. If smiling is not your thing, smiling is not essential for being charismatic. When we talk about being charismatic, it's about being warm and competent. And you have 97 cues to choose from to make that warmth and competence recipe. And so you don't have to be a bubbly extrovert to be charismatic. You can be a quiet, powerful introvert. You can be a compassionate, empathetic healer. Those look different. And so I think it's less exhausting to find your recipe and to use those cues a lot.
So consider that before you think, everybody's a hater, nobody likes me. Why? Consider that with yourself. Okay? I love you guys. Oh, no, before I go, how could I? Let me read this verse to you guys before I go. Hold on. You will find it in Corinthians chapter 13. So let's go to Corinthians chapter 13 real quick. And let me read it from the ESV version for you guys. It says, if I speak in tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not loved, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. And as for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when the perfect comes, the partial will pass away. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. So now faith, hope, and love abide. These three, but the greatest of these is love. Made me so emotional. Just knowing where I came from, guys. God is so good. Only God can make you love like that. I used to read this passage before and had no understanding of it, no emotional attachment to it. And now I understand it so well. It resonates so well. It's like only God can do it. And if you feel you struggle, don't beat yourself up. Because to love yourself and know you are fearfully and wonderfully made is to be able to forgive yourself too. I forgive myself. I don't let the devil keep showing me images of who I was all the time, except to praise the Lord. The only time I look in my past is to praise the Lord to see how far I've come, not to beat myself up. Don't use this as an opportunity to be like, oh, dang, so I don't have love. I'm this, I'm that, I'm a hater. All is lost. No, the Lord loves you, and all things are redeemable. And I love you guys so much. I will see you guys in the next one.